Alright, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to my channel. Today we're going to be going over Harrower. I'm just going to go ahead and pull up the build, which you can already see here. So this is my ability order and build that I've developed for Harrower after playing him for a couple of games. I haven't played too much of him, to be honest. I felt like he was a fairly easy champion. He relates to a lot of other MOBAs that I've played. He has really similar abilities to a lot of other characters that I've played in games. So far, this is what I've come to think of him. The gameplay that I actually have for you, I kind of went a different build path. I went dampening cloak into a golden protector, and then I kind of ran off that. But after playing much more games, I had some pretty good footage with this build setup right here, and something happened to it. It got corrupted, but yeah. Besides that point, this is the setup that I like right now, starting Fellblade or starting like partial towards Elderstone. Elderstone's really good on this character, more so than a lot of other characters, I think. Mystic Dagger is especially powerful on here. All these luxury items that I put on here, basically you can use them every game, and I would highly suggest using them every game. That's also, Wind Splitter is also a really strong one. I forgot to put that on there. Barrier token, if you're facing like a Caprice or a Moxie in lane, or well, maybe not even just in lane, but in general in the game, it's super strong, keeps you, you're already really tanky and really hard to kill, so the tankier you are, the better off you are. I found Harrower kind of is like a strategy to be more of a hardcore like split lane, like split pushing just in a different lane threat than a lot of the other characters. And with Mystic Dagger, I think the Q, if you Q and then you Mystic Dagger, that's a lot of burst right there, especially if you're in your ult form and you get that crit. A lot of people didn't expect it when I was doing it. I went Power Boots over Rocket Boots, and as far as pets, I prefer right now Pincer and Bounder. I really liked Bounder on him. Pincer definitely is probably one of the better ones, I would suggest. You could use tops. I wouldn't use them. Maybe even fits. But besides that, some of the newer pets work obviously pretty well. Tink is really good. I used him in the first game that I played with this guy. I used Tink in lane. Which, by the way, let me know in the comment section. I want to know your guys' opinions on Plunder and Tink. I have gotten a lot of feedback from the friends that I play with about what they think about those pets. But, you know, I would like to hear you guys' opinions on them. I think Tink is definitely the more viable option out of the two, but I don't know. I kind of want to hear what you guys have to say in the comments about those two. So that's it for the build, really. I think if you guys want an ability explanation, basically Feast of Wounds, it's passive ability that applies onto the champions that you're attacking. His W is a wolf that, like, it basically homes in, you click them, it has a ridiculous range. The only thing I really use it for is the slow, and I use it to actually cancel their out of combat regen. So if they're out of combat, just throw your W at them. It has crazy range, and it auto hits them, and they cancel their regen. The Q is obviously, it's similar to like a Mystic Dagger proc, and it dashes you, so really strong, definitely max first. His ultimate is like super powerful, it's ridiculous. It does so much damage and gives you bonus health and movement speed, it's crazy. I would highly suggest being in his ultimate form a lot when you're fighting. So that's pretty much it for the abilities. Besides that, I got some gameplay for you guys. It's not the best gameplay I had so far for this guy, but it's pretty good, and it kind of, I'm going to explain a little bit more than actually talk about what's happening in the game this time, because I think Harrower right now is one of the strongest champions in the game, and I think it needs to be described how you actually play him in the sense of if you want to carry a game, like solo carry a game, instead of just actually playing with a team and, you know, relying a little bit more on your team. So I'm going to try and explain that to you guys just in words, not necessarily through the gameplay. So I'll see you guys in the gameplay. Alright guys, so here we are with some Harrower gameplay. While this is going on, I'm really just going to talk about how he works a little bit in laning phase, and how I've seen him played in the higher ratings as far as like split push wise and actually like carrying a team wise. By the way, guys, this is the Tink region that I was talking about. You can see how much faster it is. 75% faster actually. This is the first game I played with Harrower. I found it to be really useful. Like I said, I want to know what you guys think because I thought it was pretty significant. You notice it, and it's pretty good, especially the health. Your health goes up pretty crazy fast. So, but back to the actual like talking about Harrower. So Harrower as a champion is pretty tanky right off the bat, right? If you build him that way, which is what I was doing in this game. So obviously this is a little bit more early game. I'm not actually at that like split push potential, like the threat on the map that just split pushes the entire game and you can't really do anything about it. What I've noticed of this guy is that his team fights really aren't. He's not the best team fighter. Like he's good, but he's not as good as like a lot of other champions that have really strong team fights. If you saw like there was this burst right that with his Q and his ultimate, that it's really strong. He does a bunch of bursts and he's such a lane bully. Like you can just push this guy out. I remember at level 1 this guy came in on me and I just pushed him out of lane at level 1 just because I outranged him. And he's so good at bullying out of lane, especially in 1v1 situations. He's almost impossible to kill, and he's really good at dueling people. So you just have to take advantage of that. And honestly, if your team is doing really well, they can probably 4-man against the opposing team. Well, you just sit there and split push, and you don't have to do anything else because you'll be putting so much pressure. You're gonna force a man top, or bot, or wherever you are. I would suggest pushing top, so that while you're pushing, if Baldur comes up by chance, you and like, I don't know, whoever, any of your ranged carries could come down with you and you could take that really quickly after you've pushed, and you're obviously going to get ganked back on the top lane. So far these are some of the different strategies that I've seen him played with. I've seen him. Honestly, I think he's just a super strong solo champion, and I don't think there's a lot of people that can deal with him. If he makes things super easy to dodge, his Q is really powerful, he has great lane sustain, like he's just a good champion. And I think as far as one of the champions where the abilities actually all flow together really well, this guy's abilities all flow perfectly together. His E is just really great for team fights, though. That's one of the abilities that I did like for team fights. His Q is really good for repositioning. Like, let's say you have to dodge some skill shot, like a Caprice stun, that would take you out. It's really good for dodging that, or just any real AoE that would do massive damage to you. It's really easy to dodge. All in all, this guy probably, in my opinion, is one of the best out there right now. So in this gameplay, I think I actually get ganked soon, and at this point I have Golden Protector and I have Dampening Cloak, and I want you to just see how little damage you take. It's pretty nuts. They can't really do anything about it. Oh, by the way, learning the range of his Q is pretty important. Once you dash, you can either mess up the range and then not actually get to Q, or I think it just takes a little bit of practice. I've played a couple of games now with him, and I don't have any more issues with it. But in this one, I was dashing too far away and not getting to actually use the Q attack. But I think that the Q harass is really important to actually keeping people out of lane or keeping people away from you. This guy does have certain matchups, though, where he doesn't do as well. I've noticed Rook, he's not as strong against. This was just a really weird, like, this guy just had a hard matchup, like, but here's the gank. So you'll see right here, I slow them with my W, and basically I'm just watching for Claudette's Q. That's all I want to dodge. So as soon as she tosses that out, I don't know, she threw that way past me. It was kind of predictable, but after that I just backed off. So here's actually a team fight of Harrower. I figured I'd show you it. like I said, he's not as strong. There's a really good rook ult, so I just kind of went in on this Caprice, and she actually had a really nice stun there. But if you look, his damage output is actually really good. He does a lot of damage. It's just I don't feel like he's as strong of a team fighter as, like, I don't know, Hale or Vermilion or Blazer. Blazer was doing really well this game, but our Hale was just crushing people, as you see right there. So this was pretty much the end of the game after this. But all in all, I think he's incredibly strong right now. I don't think there's a lot of other characters anywhere near as strong as this guy. But honestly, try the solo pushing strategy. It seems really good and really effective. So I hope this build works for you guys, and I'll see you in the next video. Peace.